Hi, hello, and welcome to Revolving Door series brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous, also known as the Blosi Baba. I'll be your oracle today, and I was sent to deliberate the findings for the Revolving Door September, which is the Divine Partnership Assessment in respect to the karmic false twin, lower self mirror of the catalytic experience. And it's going to cover the cycle from the Pisces new moon on to the Aries new moon. So this will terminate around October 2nd. And we are coming to you from the Serene Suites. So understand that with the revolving door, it's going to be more geared to the divine feminine this month or this cycle. Now, divine feminine is the receptive energy in the connection. The energy, divine feminine, they embody the energy in a reflective sense from the yin space, the internal space. So will be manifested below the material plane in this sense for this spread. The guidance will be geared to the divine masculine this month. The findings will be geared to the divine feminine this month. The divine feminine is closer to the camera. And the divine masculine, of course, respectively, is further away. We will be deliberating the findings from Lady Frida Harris's Thought Tarot, created by Aleister Crowley. We will deliberate the findings and pose the findings from Sacred Revels by Alana Fairchild. We actually have that card already for meditation after the storm, card number 1. So we are coming out of ratchet protocols. We might have some type of camera aspect that's not quite aligned. Pardon me, please. So the Divine Partnership Assessment is an 11 by 11 card spread. As I said, the Divine Feminine, or the receptive embodiment of the soul, of the heart space, is closer to the camera. Further away from the camera is the Divine Masculine. I, again, am a Blosi Baba, also known as Serene Priestess Gorgeous. I'll be your oracle today. The guidance imposed is after the storm. So I'll be curious to see what the findings are, how those are gathered. What I'll do is I will impose guidance until I see the moon and the sun. So the moon is the high priestess. The sun right now is a Virgo. So that's the Hierophant. And then what we have is the clarifying energy. After the storm, that opening sermon, you know, what I'm getting so far is that we are planting seeds and yielding simultaneously, maybe not quite in the physical. In the physical, what comes along is the understanding of the truth that needs to be incorporated in order to plant seeds that will grow. Because some things are in harsh water, some things are not. Sometimes, you know, we kill a sentence as we're birthing it and not as we're letting it live. Before a period can even go on the end of the sentence, we've already killed it, you know. So we're learning how to grow into things we've gone through, incorporate those into better foundations right now, having moved on, move forward into bigger, brighter, and better. After this storm, there is a thunderstorm about. Thunderstorm about. It is either headed our way or just passing through now. Do not make a thunderstorm mean much more than what it is, though. You do not have to fear it. You might even feel excitement about it. After all, a thunderstorm is just nature's way of gathering energy together that needs to be released. With the release of tension, relief and freedom soon follow, often with a fresh perspective and perhaps the gift of a promising, hopeful vision for the future. Perhaps the particular storm building within you or around you is causing you to quake in your boots. It might be a storm of building emotions, threatening to erupt or already exploding, seemingly beyond our conscious control. You might feel an uncomfortable sense of emotional or psychological pressure within you, and if something does not happen, and soon, you fear you might just burst. You may also sense that there are forces operating beyond your control, and you would be right. There is in life and in the creative process a need to allow for wild storms. There will be those precious moments of peace beforehand and the release of revitalization that follows. Yet the storm in the middle is essential. It is a natural part of the creative process. Without this building and releasing of energy, we might suffer from boredom and stagnancy. You might prefer the excitement of the storm or the fresh, open feeling that accompanies its clearing. You may find it confronting to be faced with the power of something in which you can only participate rather than control. Either way, the storm wisdom offers you the gift of bringing things to a head and clearing them away so that the energy can be freed from a pattern that has had its day and is ready to become something new. It seems like I'm getting a lot of pivot energy. Instead of X, Y, Z, why don't you look first for A, B, C? Instead of always responding to U, V, why don't you try first the tactic of E, F, G? That kind of. So we have the Hierophant clarified by the Four of Wands. We have the Moon clarified by the Princess of Cups. We have the World clarified by the Ten of Cups. We have the Death clarified by the Eight of Wands. Empress clarified by the Six of Swords. Judgment clarified by the Knight of Wands. We have the Emperor clarified by the Five of Cups. We have the Lovers clarified by the Nine of Wands. For the revolving door, we have on the masculine side the we have on the feminine side the Three of Swords, and we have on the masculine side the Seven of Pentacles. Already we have 75% of the union here in the physical, and we start with the previous cycle having had a culmination or an accomplishment of a manifestation. So it was the journey of going through to or using the authentic self to confront everything that was alive. So much so that all of the growing through what had been gone through, there had been enough confrontations with the shadow nature for aspects of the eternal self or even the true nature, the authentic self, to come through. So that's how we were wrapping up the last of the cycle. There was a culmination, a dissension of, and again, accomplishment of the authentic self. It would have been a result of several or a significant confrontation with the shadow self. Almost like completing the dark journey of the soul kind of thing, where like you find your light because you had gone to the depths of your shadow. That's how we begin this cycle, having completed the last cycle. The evolving situation is a so we have a transition here and an expansion, but the expansion comes through understanding how to show up, be present, navigate, participate with soul's wisdom, the sage wisdom, soul's wisdom, understanding the depths of the soul, knowing truly, genuinely the authentic self and those razor cutting, sharp, bleeding edges where the growth rate is and where the vulnerability is. It's almost like having an emotional and a spiritual, intellectual threat model. It's a little bit of a meta reading today. I like the channel. So we start with having confronted those depths of the soul, completed the dark journey of the soul. We evolve with knowing how to negotiate, navigate from the depths of the soul, from the authentic self, because we've recently, or we start this cycle having accomplished and completed a dark journey of the soul. We found that soul's wisdom, even if we're 24, there is some type of sage wisdom alive in us, and our eternal self acts from that place. So we now show up in the cycle with the divine feminine is their obstacle, their challenge, their conflict, their crossing, the objection is the divine masculine. Now, it can be system structures, foundations if we're not in a relationship. It can be the reality getting stripped, maybe having to see things from a different perspective, maybe somebody coming back, maybe feelings coming back, feelings being accessible to a person, place, or thing that we didn't particularly have a positive experience with. Something from it had to be stripped. So even if we're doing good, it can be that we're holding on to the masculine and our feelings of them need to change. There is some type of event where their energy comes forward, their energy body. It can be them in the flesh. You can be dealing with an Aries or Scorpio Mars, an Aries rising especially. If it was Aries rising, they in the previous stripped your experience, where now you have a global, a macro life judgment standard decision-making criteria about all men that you have going forward. The sacrifice to be made is that we're going to need to let them back in, become open and receptive to them. We're going to need to move on, move through, move forward with an additional chance of love. We're going to have to be move on with love, lovingly move on, move forward, giving them another chance, yet still holding defenses for what we will accept, what we will receive in love relationships, the choices that we make. We're defensive about the choices that we make, and we have to openly receive there. A final decision about a male will come through, but the one that we hope, wish, and pray for is going to happen. So whatever is the most hopeful, the highest aspect. So if we're not dealing with truth, and there's truth about ourselves, truth about our own thoughts. So theories, techniques, technologies, magician, clarified by the Three of Swords, would be truths. So it could also be ideals, intellect, reasoning, communication. So ideas, how we navigate, negotiate, show up, navigate, negotiate, participate according to our wants and desires. So wants and needs. Needs are feminine, wants are masculine. Wants and desires. Wants are feminine, desires are masculine. I can give two mysteries at one time. One mystery may dissolve or be dissolved by the very next one. I'm trying to decode, encode some things that I'm saying here. So if our intellect, reasoning, communication is being stripped or is expanding through confrontational truth, Three of Swords, maybe our style of communication may need to change, or we need to open up to ideas that we might have initially felt a blockage. Maybe we need to go through getting clarity, allowing some things to float away. There needs to be more investment in beliefs, agreements, spiritual agreements, spiritual beliefs. Spiritual theories, techniques, technologies. We have means, mechanisms, methodologies, systems, structures, foundations here. Self-governance, self-mastery, faith, hope, optimism, self-worth, and value. We have transitions, transformations. We have endings, completions, graduations. We have Pharaonic energy. We have Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi. Now we do have Nadan, but we don't have any Asura energy yet. Again, the feminine is finding that the conflict is the masculine, but ideas or feelings about them are going to change. It's almost as if we were recently not liking them because of whatever had happened. There's going to be a moment where that shifts and changes. I'm hearing that I saw the sun and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sun, that Ace of Base song. So the sky's going to open up. You're going to have an epiphany. It will be a change from the different what you already have. So if you're stuck on a false twin flame, all of a sudden you're going to come clean and correct. If you thought you got ditched some man, that's going to shift around. What it is going to be a stripping of the current reality. There's going to be a forced change. So you're not going to be able to get stuck on something. It's going to move into a bigger, brighter, and better situation, more of a in alignment foundation. And some of it is going to be alone. If you are together, it's going to be much more spiritual. What the twin flame connection is that you are in a devotional path with the divine. And you already have love and you already have devotion, and that's going to your union with the divine. And if that is strong enough and big enough, it will anchor out of the spiritual into the physical to a member of the soul group. Not all twin flames are lovers, but all twin flames are soulmates. I mean, not all soulmates are twin flames or lovers, but all twin flames are soulmates. So let's see if we can get through. Virgo came out already, so we're just waiting for the moon. Okay, well, the focus now is this bigger, brighter, better is going to open up doors for new beginnings, because we've had a lot of endings where we've had to be isolated alone from people. So some of the stripping would be, we had belief systems that would grow foundations in our life that may or may not have been 100% in alignment with us, mainly because our self-governance and self-mastery or lack thereof was because of belief systems. Some of it was conditioning. Now we're looking at a bigger, better, and better. We have faith in creation. And now divine alignment, destiny is opening up. These endings that we've been having where we're isolated, now they're opening up the new beginnings. We're accomplishing, we're having victories, even if there was loss. Yes, you can lose and still win. If you lose someone, you gain yourself. Okay, so now I'm picking up on timing. Over the last 3 weeks, over the next 6 weeks. For some of you, over the last 6 weeks, over the next 3 months. So onwards towards the 22nd of September, manifestation, of things that when they first came through were harsh. And now we have 100% of the twin flame connection of the soulmate, the twin flame, the divine masculine, and the divine feminine are all out. There's going to be a lot of transitions towards October 8th. I think the 1010 portal is a lot of combinations, and we have 10-10-2020 coming up for the next cycle. So this cycle is getting ready for it. I can see a lot of doors opening and closing here. A lot of things getting completed, culminated, moved through. Things that have been harsh become easy. Hard truths, broken hearts get resolved. I don't like the word closure, but I've heard it twice. I've heard resolved and completed, and here we have the resolution card. It's because strength, courage, and wisdom comes after doors open up, and now we have the moon card. So this is after the storm. Even if you're not sure what the storm is about, do not lose confidence in your ability to successfully bear its progression until you're safely at the other side of the experience. Even amongst the chaos of change and in the moments of anxiety, know that you have so much light and trust in your heart that you can see the storm is but a passing process and nothing that you need to worry about. If you cannot sense the storm yet, this oracle is a portent for you. The storm is coming, and you can, if you wish, feel the beautiful, exhilarating gift of it, as you are empowered to cast aside what has been and receive the gift of a fresh, new take on things. Your confidence is to remain intact. Whatever is happening or soon will happen in your life, the storm of swords is transformational and supportive of your growth. It is going to clear away cobwebs and free you, open you to new creative energy in life. Remember, there can be no rainbows without a little rain. So if we open up the cycle here, having recently completed a dark journey of the soul, we found our authentic self and we went on a journey through the astral, so our emotional body. We complete here with a lot of ideas from time and energy we're spending in our etheric body. We're going to collect some soul's wisdom here because our eternal self will be beginning to expand things. So we're going to have an expansion etherically. And most of our people, places, and things in our life, especially coworkers, neighbors, brothers and sisters, especially younger ones, and soulmates. Soulmates are not all lovers, but the twin flame card came and left. We've had consistently 75% of this connection out. So resolution is here. Over the next 45 days, we're going to come into some strong resolution, but think about it. If things come up, opportunities come up, and resolution doesn't happen, whatever you settle on is going to be there for a while. And actually, the word is move through. So if you move through something quickly that could have stuck around, things are going to settle for a minute. It's like the doors are opening and closing after the storm. Things have just been cleansed a lot. The emotional resonance is going to be. So if you've been holding on to a lot of, it's going to dissipate. A lot of mysteries are going to be revealed too. Mysteries of endings, what has happened now that you've figured out self-governance, self-mastery, now that you feel better about yourself and you've moved through the situation, feel better about it, how you've grown, how you've expanded, what that heartache, heartbreak did for you, part of the noise. What that heartache did for you, it broke up the stagnancy. Now, some of us are going to have the opportunity to heal. There is a couple, like a one more try, a one final push energy here too, but it's to a lesser degree. It seems like if we're handling things spiritually, devotional practice, devotional path, spiritual practice, that will be what resolves some things. The healing process. Repeat the following where possible with your arms up and open to the sky. Storms so wild, storms of grace, I call upon your blessing into my heart now. May I release and let go. May I be revitalized and grow. I open up my heart to you now. Storms of grace, I stand my ground as I allow your magic to cleanse and surround. Any outgrown energy which I no longer need, anything which will sap or deplete rather than feed. Storms of grace, merciful earth, with your help I experience rebirth. Storms so wild, storms of grace, I call upon your blessing into my heart now. May I release and let go. May I be revitalized and grow. I open up my heart to you now. Storms of grace, I stand my ground as I allow your magic to cleanse and surround. Any outgrown energy which I no longer need, anything which will sap or deplete rather than feed. Storms of grace, merciful earth, with your help I experience rebirth. So it's been an honor and pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing the privilege to do so. If anything resonated deeply with you, I can be reached at baba@ablose.org or in the energy below the additional information description. You may find contact information. Thank you.